call to order this meeting for Monday, July 28th. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Voberg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Ward.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Econger.
Present.
Nilsson.
Present.
Norvstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shoneman.
Present. Please stand with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I have two modifications for this week's agenda, for the sake of brevity, as well as some fine-tuning that will occur on another item. We've got new business item A we will strike. Casey will join us for a future meeting to give us that update. And then new business item D, we will continue to work on that thing and bring it back to the council if and when it gets a little bit further along in a little bit more passable form. So I would take a motion to approve the agenda with those two adjustments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Econger. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Last week was July 21st. We had a meeting. The next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes from that meeting. I would take a motion.
So move. Second.
Motion Nilsson, second Ward. Anyone have anything to discuss as it relates to those minutes? All right. Vote on that then. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. 5 items of our consent calendar. We've got Department of Labor certification for our union election results will be placed on file. A new daycare license to Ms. Nicole Fuller, excavator license to Pro Contracting, Inc., community event permit by resident Brian Delzer, and various reports to be received and placed onto file. I would take a motion to approve our consent calendar items here today.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we vote, can I just ask a quick question in protocol? Notice on the daycare license application that some of the personal information for this individual was redacted, and I'm not accustomed to seeing that. It was on page 17. Is that anything
Can you walk us through the...
as a new policy, or how does that relate?
I can weigh in on that, Councilman Johnson. Some of those applications do have identity types information that we would routinely redact. And so we are starting to be a little more vigilant on these various licenses that come through. We see them in some of the taxi cab, motor cab licenses as well. So we will, in the future, be providing documents that you'll see the redacted areas. Those are the kinds of information that we wouldn't ordinarily want it to be public, more confidential type information.
Sure. Just a quick note on that on the following page, it was not.
Oh, it was not, okay.
So just on the
So-
staff
we will-
routing list.
We will do a better job of microscoping that information and redacting that.
They highlighted the first page with a black Sharpie and the second page with a yellow highlighter that didn't catch
Maybe you're right, Mayor.
the photocopier.
Thanks for that explanation.
No, thank you.
All right, I take a motion from the consent calendar if someone was so inclined.
So move.
Second.
Motion Nilsson, second Johnson. Anyone have anything else on these? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any opposed? Motion does carry. Next, we've got 2 items of old business from our previous meeting. Both are ordinances. The first one is our second reading and final adoption of the ordinance, which amends the zoning regulations for the home daycare and administrative exceptions. We had a bit of a conversation about the ins and outs of that last week. Ken, has anything changed?
Thank you, Mayor. We have no changes to report. Staff recommends approval.
And nobody reached out from the daycare community or public or
Nope.
zoning board or any of those folks?
Move
All
to
right.
approve.
Second.
Motion Ronayne, second Ward. Any final thoughts before we take a vote to make this thing official? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we have a possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance, which will repeal the ordinance which regulated recreational and hobby flying of drones. Ron, anything new with that?
No, Mr. Mayor, no comments from the public. Staff would recommend second reading and final adoption.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt and a second from Councilman Ward. Anyone have any final thoughts on this one?
Mayor, I do.
Oh, go ahead.
If I can, just for a
Councilman
second. I remember in 2016 and 2019 when this was a topic, and I remember feeling like, there was at first 4 and then ultimately settled on 5 locations. And I thought these are very narrow strips of land and how restrictive it seemed. But I understood the need for it at the time. And I just want to express some gratitude first for a city government that is oriented toward being thoughtful and limited and sensible. I think this is an example of that, being able to expand that. And also showing gratitude for a city that has a lot of law-abiding citizens who live in compliance with ordinances so that this can take place. And I think for a lot of drone enthusiasts, this is a happy day. And we'll look forward to future compliance as well to make this work for everyone. But I just thought, 2 things that make our city great, good leadership and good citizens. So just wanted to call that out before we put it to bed.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. I think those are good sentiments, and I appreciate this thing dissolving. Jordan, would you give us a roll call then, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Nilsson.
Aye.
Econger.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Foberg.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got our new business segment of the meeting. As mentioned in the prelogue here, we will hear from Casey in the future meeting on his progress with vacation travel marketing. Next item is our public hearing and possible approval of 3 alcohol licenses. The first one is from Regency Midwest Ventures, doing business as Ramkota, to Aberdeen Lodging, doing business as Ramkota, as a result of a sale of that facility and operational hotel. We've got a second, which is tied in. It's the transfer of the on-off sale wine and cider license, same entities. And finally, the retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine license. Basically, all 3 licenses from this entity being transferred upon the sale of their operational hotel business. No one is here to speak on behalf of or against, it looks like. So if someone from the council cared to make a motion, now would be your time.
Move to approve all 3 licenses.
Second.
Motion Econger, second Ward. Anyone from the council have anything to share or any questions as it relates to any of these or that facility itself? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, we'll hear from our city attorney, Ron Weger, on the annual review of our open meetings laws. Ron, what's changed? What remains the same?
Okay, that's very open. This will be an annual review that we are required by law to conduct with the council, and the council needs to have had an opportunity to discuss these, as well as note in the minutes that it did complete this review. What I attached to the council agenda memo for this is a pamphlet entitled "Conducting the Public's Business in Public," prepared by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office and the South Dakota News Media Association. And this is actually a 2023, and I think it was even on before that, pamphlet. And that sets forth the state of South Dakota open meetings laws. The one change in the new 2025 explanation is an acknowledgement of the legislation that occurred this year as part of the South Dakota Legislature's Better Government initiatives, and that's to require that we have this annual review. So I have provided that to the council. This particular explanation, which is the brochure, has been available to the public for some time, And it requires that we have open meetings laws to conduct our meetings in the open, transparently. And so it applies to this body, and I'm just gonna kind of highlight this brochure as we go through. Page 2 of the brochure talks about teleconferences, and we do allow for members to be present by teleconference. We have not scheduled any city council meetings solely via teleconference, and that's a process in and of itself to do. Some public bodies are set up to do that. By necessity, we haven't. But we do allow members to appear telephonically with an understanding that we will need a physically present quorum to actually conduct our business. And as the council knows, we publish our agendas. We have our agenda packets as part of the proposal. Those agendas need to be published a minimum of 24 hours ahead of a meeting. We do those usually by Thursday afternoon, if not Friday at the latest. So we try to comply with all those. Going on to when we have executive sessions, council is aware that we are required by law to hold executive sessions only for allowed exceptions. And we do that. We identify those when we make the motions to go into executive session to make sure that it is an allowed executive session topic. We strive, I think the council can all shake their heads during executive session to stay on topic and to only stay on those items that we've noticed as part of our meeting. And we don't take any action during those executive sessions. We cannot take action. So if we're gonna take action, we'll do that after the executive session, and hopefully we have notified the media by part of that process that if any action will be taken, that would likely be on the agenda as well. And I'll just use an example. We have in years past when we've had a new city manager appointed, for example, the council would go into executive session to make that final choice. That would have been part of the agenda that they're gonna come out of executive session and hopefully appoint the new city manager. And that's where the actual formal action occurs in open meeting. And so that's part of a process. Email discussions, and as the council knows, we do not discuss matters in email. That can be deemed to be conducting business, and we don't do that. There are informational emails that come out, but as far as the council is concerned, you do not do your business via email. You're not horse trading with each other via email. You are doing your business in the open meeting section. The records that must be available to the public in conjunction with the public meetings are the agenda packet and the agenda itself. We make those available. We're very proud. I know Jordan's and Stephen have worked very hard on putting together an agenda packet that accurately reflects what's going to be happening. The public has an opportunity to review that, has a very good understanding of what'll be happening during the meetings. And then we don't utilize too many task forces or committees and working groups, but to the extent that we would be having meetings, I recall that we had the redistricting committee that we had put together. That was we did provide and comply with our open meetings laws on those processes as well. And then lastly, we just can note now that we did in fact have this open meetings annual review. And unless the council has an objection, we will plan to do those in the future, probably in July going forward as well. There's no hard and fast time when that has to be done. It just has to be conducted annually. But this seems to work. July seems to be a time when we get a lot of these administrative things resolved and taken care of, so we'll keep that on track. But with the council's permission, we will go ahead and now direct the finance officer to acknowledge that it was completed. So that would be the report. Are there any questions? Okay.
Thank you for that, Ron. Appreciate it. Jordan, make mention or make note of the fact that we've completed this review. Next, we've got our possible approval of a first reading of an ordinance titled 250704, which supplements 2025 budget for various parks, rec, and forestry activities. Jordan, what have we got?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a quarterly transfer that we perform on behalf of the Parks Department that moves cash around from their various funds. If the cool things they do at things like Storybook Land and Wiley Park, they derive contributions or donations. We put those monies into a special fund called the Parks Gift Fund, and when they expend those funds, they spend them out of their operating budget. What we're doing within this ordinance authorizes the transfer of the cash from the gift fund into the operating departments. We're also moving cash from the Cemetery Perpetual Care Fund into the cemetery budget. You may recall some activity related to that earlier this year. We had the public hearing to authorize those expenditures, and that's what we're doing here. So staff has reviewed and recommends approval of the transfers presented within.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Knopfstrup. Any surprises, Jordan?
Everything seems in order.
Sounds great. Any questions from the council?
Is this transfer, is it earmarked for something specific?
So typically the donations come with some type of expectations, whether it might be for Storybook Land, parks, forestry. Those are the items that we see within this transfer. And, you know, they may be very specific, they may be very general. So it really depends on the donation.
Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then on that ordinance?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval of pay request number 3, $19,210.71 for frame construction in Slayton, Minnesota for work on the bridge. Stu, looks like they've been hacking that thing apart. How's it going?
Yeah, they're doing a good job of tearing it apart. The west side of the bridge is completely gone. There's just a small portion of the east side left, and they encountered some footings from the bridge that was previous to the bridge that they're taking out. So in the next few weeks here, I'll anticipate you'll be getting a change order to approve for removing those extra pieces that nobody had any idea were there. So, but work is progressing actually now that they've kind of been able to get out of the mud and stuff, it's progressing quite nicely. So I would recommend approving the payment to Prom.
And then in terms of the timing on the rebuild of the new bridge, what does our timeline look like for that?
So I'm still anticipating a late fall completion. Once they get the new pilings driven in the ground and can start building up from there, you'll see a lot of the progress will start happening a little bit quicker. But they're probably behind a little bit, but I wouldn't say by very much, a week or two at the most.
Thank you, Stu. And would someone care to make a motion on the payment to Prane?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion Johnson, second Nilsson. Any questions for City Engineer Nelson over there? Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, possible approval to accept a bid for Johnson Feed for roadway de-icing salt. Stu, run us through that bid then, please.
Sure. So as you can see in the council action form there, the price, this is a price that's $2 per ton less than what we got for a price last year, which was a really good price. I think it's just shows that, you know, transportation costs, which is a huge part of this, are continuing to fall, which is a good thing. It's the first time we've used Johnson Feed, I believe, for salt.
It's been a number of years.
Yeah, so at least that I could remember. So, well, hopefully they'll perform and get the salt to us before we actually need it. So.
I'll move to. I'll second.
Motion Ronayne, second Johnson. Any questions? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Econger,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye.
Norpstroop,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next is our payroll and bills. Payrolls pay period is for July 13th through the 26th.
I
Take a
would
motion
move to
pay-
approve all of them.
Second.
Motion Liebelt, second Ward. Jordan, would you give us a final roll call vote of the evening?
Councilmember Norpstroop,
Aye.
Nilsson,
Aye, and I'll abstain on the payment from myself.
The guy's been here 2 weeks and he's already getting payments. What is going on here?
Councilmember Econger,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Makes the payment to the clerk.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we've got our city manager's report. Robin, anything exciting going on?
Briefly, last week we had, the airport staff had a fairly lengthy meeting with the FAA. That was their annual inspection. We did a pre-briefing and then a debriefing afterwards, and I think things went very well. They stated they were very impressed with how responsive our staff is and making sure that it's a good, safe facility. And the things they found were some technicalities that they're going to work through with us as they did last year. It's something they do as part of their annual review. So we're in good shape there. That was a happy day. Next week we will do a presentation on the draft of the budget. Jordan and I and a lot of folks, Stu, have been working on that pretty diligently for the last couple weeks and last couple months rather. And we will do a work session on August 11th. So that week off really won't be a week off this month. We'll go through some more, some heavier duty particulars on that, and then you will have the first reading of the budget on the 2nd of September. And we did do a 10-year certificate of appreciation for Ryan DeRochi at Rideline. He's a supervisor out there, and we appreciate Ryan doing his thing, and 10 years is a long time, so we appreciate his time with us. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Ryan. I know that he's taken part in a number of meetings that I've been involved with, and I've been always very impressed with his professionalism as well. The reason that Chad was getting a payment was because he attended an elected officials workshop. Chad, any findings? Anything you'd like to share with the group?
Yes,
What did you learn?
My primary finding is that we are very fortunate to have Jordan McQuillan and Ron Wager in our staff, because they take care of a lot of things that us as a council need to worry about that we don't see. The smaller community is trying to do more with less. My heart goes out to them, but we're very fortunate here. So thank you, Ron. Thank you, Jordan, for everything you guys do that we don't even think about. So
Sounds good. And that's one good way to get your mileage reimbursed, is to give compliments to the finance manager during the meeting. So if no one has anything else, I would take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Ward, second Econger. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Here we go.